Welcome everyone to day 2 of PowerFULL. So this masterclass is a 3-part masterclass to teach you principles, strategies, spiritual steps from my book, PowerFULL, to help you transform your emotions and help you flourish during every circumstance you face in life so that you can change and create breakthrough on the outside in any area, your relationships, your health, your finances, as a parent. So let's hop into what we covered yesterday. And for those of you who didn't see the replay yet, don't worry, you're going to get a copy. And all homework is due by noon on Friday. So you've got a couple days still. All right, so we covered in day 1 what most people think will make them feel calm and help them create the change they want, which actually just backfires. The 3 critical pillars to feeling calm, feeling joyful, feeling unstuck inside, while you achieve that next thing that your heart's craving, that thing that feels impossible. So, how do you stay calm and joyful while you progress? We covered that yesterday. The inside out creation tool to rewire your thinking and create a soul satisfying life. And then how to identify the root of what really causes the resistance and procrastination and lack of happiness so that you can have more happiness, more health, better relationships, fulfilling career, and not put off the actions that will start creating that. So I'm really excited to work from day 1's learnings and bring it into day 2. So this is what we're going to cover today. I'm going to share with you the calm formula that I have inside my book. Please grab yourself a copy. It's only 20 bucks and it's going to be transformative for you. So in there, today we're going to rewrite your story to create new breakthroughs and experience the most beauty in this life right now and in the near future as possible. We're going to explore conscious choice. I have to remember to take a breath while I'm teaching. I'm excited. There's a lot we have to cover today. So, conscious choice will help you get unstuck, re energized, and use your time wisely in alignment with what you want right now. And then the key to transforming emotions quickly, because don't we all love to get quick results? I do. And the last is powerful daily habits that I used during that season in my life and you can use to help you ingrain and maintain new healthy habits that transform not only your emotions, but also your external world. So make sure that before we hop in, you have a pen and paper, you have something to stay hydrated, you're comfortable, and then you'll be ready. Oh, and bring an open mind. Stay curious. This is a screenshot I took this morning from my manuscript of the book. Focusing on the seen problem as a way of solving the problem actually prolongs the problem. So read that again. If we focus on, you guys, what we see or what we think our problem is right now, which is what we dug into a bit yesterday to get to the root of the problem. If we focus on what we think the problem is, in order to solve the problem, it actually doesn't help. It hurts us and hinders our progress. It prolongs the problem in our lives. So we can't operate from assuming that what we see is the truth. We need to create a new focus to work from. And we'll be talking about how to do that today. So let's get to work. We're starting early. So I want you to either take the time to, on one page, write that image on the left-hand side. So the 2 titles there on one full page for yourself or half a page. The desired future reality I want on the left of your page. And then top right, the mindset that matches that reality. So you remember yesterday, thank you to those of you who already sent me your homework. In your homework, you described to me what your current reality is like. So what you're feeling right now versus what you want to feel and the result you want to create. And then the thought that is actually creating problems. Yeah, Kiki, feel free to ask a question.
I think the slides might be behind. We're still seeing like the powerful slides. So maybe it was right that it was
Ah,
paused.
okay, okay, okay. Thank you so
Mhm.
much. Yeah, you guys
Absolutely.
definitely missed a lot. One sec. Feel free to put your hand up and tell me anytime. Excuse me, Amy.
I had an issue. My mic wasn't working, so I had to change my audio feature. I was like, Amy, Amy, Amy. And then I was like, oh, my mic's not working. Anyway, I had my own tech issues on my side. So
Okay, so now can you see it? Yay, great. So let me backtrack just really quickly and make sure you guys okay, so there's the quote. If you liked it and you want to screenshot it, focusing on the scene problem as a way of solving the problem actually prolongs the problem. That's from the book. This is what we're going to cover today. If you want to have a quick review. Okay, but I'm going to walk you through these. So this is what you need to be working from. So grab a piece of blank paper and I want you to write on the top left, my desired future reality. This is you starting to write your new calm story. This is the new foundation to move forward from. And then on the top right is the mindset that matches that reality. Welcome. I think I saw Gloria just joined us too. Welcome, welcome. So your new calm formula looks like this. If yesterday you told me, yesterday I asked everyone who was live, what is it that you want? What are you craving more of? What do you want your life to look like? What would be exciting? Um, some said they want to make a transition in their career. Some said they want to feel like they're waking up and they can feel calm instead of apprehensive on a regular basis or hesitant, not really going for what they want. And uh, well, hopefully my dog is not totally. Let me let my dog out. One sec. Boston Terrier interruptions. Alert, alert. Okay, so we talked about how when we work from our old nervous system, our old wiring, then we keep prolonging a problem and we get the same result we don't want. So we backtracked and we used this formula yesterday, but for our old results. How are we getting these same old results? Or why are we at this bottleneck point in our lives? We keep hitting that glass ceiling. This thing keeps showing up and it's frustrating. Why does this habit keep prolonging? So that's the result that's created by a thought, which is created by an emotion because you had an imprint on your nervous system a long time ago. And then we try and stay safe by not changing. So, in order for you to feel calm and create breakthrough right now and new results, we need to get to the root of it and decide what our perception is going to be moving forward and what new thought and emotion will be our new set point. Okay, hopefully everybody's tracking with me. So always feel free to add questions in the chat and I'll open up opportunity for discussion as well. So just write for now, just write one outcome. Maybe use yesterday's outcome that you want to create and put it under your desired future reality. Or maybe your desired reality. You can cross out future if you want it right now. And then what mindset, what thought or belief would be more helpful than the thought or belief that was creating the current problem or the current lack of happiness, right? Some of you yesterday mentioned that um, it doesn't feel like there's a really big problem in your life right now, but you're not making time for the things that really matter to you and are important to you and make you feel fully alive and satisfied, like you're growing, like you can be at peace on a regular basis. For some people, it was they weren't prioritizing some studies that they want to make time for, or even their own projects, that they just keep pushing them to the back of their plates. Or I know some people that I've worked with don't feel happy because they are spiritually um, not feeling connected. So, what is it for you? So let's use this example, a story that of one of my clients, for example. He was feeling like if he addressed some behavior that was making him frustrated and anxious or feeling unsatisfied with his own growth as a leader, if he addressed that behavior in his team members' life and at work in the workplace that was affecting the culture negatively, he felt like when we did all this work, when I walked him through these thought repatterning exercises, he realized that he was feeling insecure, he was feeling low self-esteem, and he was feeling hesitant. All those sorts of emotions all rolled up in a ball. Like Kiki said yesterday, like that ball of yarn, right? Nice and tight. And then he realized, okay, well, if I'm feeling insecure and I'm feeling hesitant, what would I be believing that would make me feel that way? Well, that I can't, this is what came up for him. I can't trust myself to have conversations that are difficult. I'm going to blow a fuse like I have in the past, and I won't be able to keep my cool and be respectful and kind at the same time. And so what resulted was he would procrastinate, and he put off having the conversation for over 6 months. I think it was more like 8 or 9. And it was really frustrating for him, but he chose to have compassion for himself when he finally had the conversation. And what resulted was a total transformation in the workplace. People were so much happier because issues were actually being addressed. Um, my client wasn't operating from this place of fear anymore about what people would think of him, how it might damage relationships, or how he might be judged, because he was finding his identity within his source or within, instead of in what other people from what other people thought of him, which is what we're going to talk about tomorrow. What is your source for confidence, peace, and security? Because it can't be in what other people think of you. It can't be in work. It can't be in money. It can't be in your own self, or you're going to get yourself in trouble, just like he did. So hesitation started dissipating, confidence grew, and he started operating from a new set point, which was confidence and belief in self and courage and the emotional feelings that gave him energy. And then he was able to have the conversation when I gave him some more communication strategies, and he was operating from that new emotional state and new beliefs about his ability and about the outcome that would happen from his action. He was able to turn the cycle around instead of pressing repeat every time at work. So, why don't in the chat, if any of you have done some work while I've been chatting, you could put down my desired future reality, and then underneath that, the mindset that matches that reality that I want to create. So add that to the chat. It helps you get more out of each class. And I'm going to let my sweet little dog back in because she just barked her face off, welcoming Grandpa, and now she's back. I share my office space with our home. It's attached. So when anyone walks by, like family or friends, they think I'm not working and they just want to chat. Okay, so what's coming up? So Kiki says her desired future reality is inner calm and self trust confidence. Mindset that matches that reality is I'm equipped with the power and resources to handle what's currently in front of me. I continue to grow and bloom in enlightenment with my head and heart. Beautiful visual. That's great. So that was just like, however it comes out, you guys, whatever the first thought is that makes you feel the way that you want to feel is likely a helpful thought. If you're asking yourself, what's the right thought to match that desired future reality? Don't think about the right thought or the perfect thought. Think about the thought you would like to think, or maybe the thought that people who act that way in your life might be thinking. That's sometimes a good trigger to help you understand what thought would be a good one and a helpful one. Sometimes people don't want to choose new thoughts because it feels a little bit unrealistic sometimes, or like a stretch. And remember, breathe into those back ribs. It is a stretch. You're growing. You're not reacting to life anymore if you choose to. You are now co-creating your reality. You're not waiting for your situation to change before you feel good. You get to choose how you feel. You get to choose how you think. That's one of the things we're really diving deep in today. And Rana, you share the same desired reality and don't know what the mindset would be. Okay, same desired reality, which is inner calm and self trust and confidence. So maybe one for both of you would be um, I act before I have proof, because I believe that if you have a spiritual belief like this, because I believe that God loves me and has amazing things planned for me and just needs me to trust. Or source is trustworthy, and because source is trustworthy, I trust myself as well to make good decisions. They always turn out well for me. I learn something and I grow and I continue to succeed every time. Kylie says, desired future reality is believing in myself, confidence. And then her mindset would be, I have studied long and hard to know what I know. I have good ideas backed by education. Wow, that is strong and powerful. I feel like it comes with such weight and solidness, Kylie. And I really get a sense that, um, kind of like Dr. Zeus, I know what I know and I'm owning my value, right? You're making a decision and you're putting your stake in the ground. And that's what we do when we create new mindsets, is we're basically changing the landscape of our brain, and old neural roots are dying off and new paths are opening up. It's just the same as lifting weights. If you practice belief in yourself, you're going to become stronger in that area. If you practice doubting yourself, you're going to get better and better at doubting yourself. So choose what you're practicing. If you practice thinking anxious thoughts that make you feel anxious, you're going to double down on getting just incredibly skilled at being a more anxious person. Or if you're practicing living and breathing calmness, you're going to get better at it. So let's take it one step further. What's your desired feeling around that future reality? I would feel, so say you had it already. If you want to, you can close your eyes and envision yourself somewhere really majestic, very soothing. Slow your breathing down. Maybe take longer breaths and imagine it's already yours. You already are her. You already are him. You are enjoying what you've created and your new reality. It's like you can feel it in your bones. What emotions come up? How does it feel to have that future reality? and write down that in the feeling category, that desired feeling. And I'm not going to walk you through this whole process today. But what I do want to do is tap quickly into what inspired action would I take while I feel that incredible? What am I inspired to do? If it was like trust in action or confidence in action that would create that new reality, how would you be showing up in the world differently right now? What would you be spending more of your time on or less of your time on? Okay, friends, let's move on. The second pillar for today's focus is conscious choice. Now, we have a choice, right? With every belief that we allow in our heads, we're basically saying that belief or that thought is okay with me. I support it. I stand by that thought. But really, if you put your thoughts through a sieve, you would not support every thought in your head. So just run through this list and ask yourself, do I really want to continue to choose believing when I know that I'm conscious of what I may have been believing? Am I going to allow those thoughts any longer? I believe I'm not capable. Really? Look at the life you've already created. Of course, you're capable. I choose to feel anxious most days. And it's almost laughable, right? Like, of course not. Of course, we don't choose to feel anxious. But when we don't think we have power, then we just put up with things. I choose to put up with this behavior from my team member at work. I choose to continually put myself last because I love it. I love being last. I choose to pretend I'm happy with my income when I really want more. I choose to not enjoy my life as much as I'd like to. I choose to wait for what I want instead of believe in the best possible outcome and take action. I choose to put off what feels uncomfortable when I'd truly like to do, be, or have that. One that I was looking at last night was I choose to play small, settle for less, tolerate lack. Right? When we make things plain and we write them down and we say them out loud, we can get really honest with ourselves and remember that we have a choice and remember that we have power. Our brains are malleable, our emotions are transformable. And when we align our spirit with God's spirit or source, whatever you believe, I believe in Jesus, and then you align your mindset with your spirit, and then your emotions with your mindset, and then your body with your emotions, you're unstoppable. So that's what this training is all about. And for some of you who have had negative experiences with um, God or Jesus, when I'm teaching and I dive into spiritual things, know that my relationship with God is founded in love and all about love. So you can use whatever word you want. I snapped some things from my book again. Speak and think only what you choose to have come into reality now and continuously. These truths, these actionable habits here on the right hand side, are going to help you ingrain the new patterns and make them habitual. Now, this is so important because um, when we're creating new habits that create new results, We need to practice them, just like we were talking about with weightlifting, or just like when we take care of our garden, everything is healthier and the weeds are sparse, right? Everything is more beautiful. We need to take care of ourselves the same way, with the same amount of love, care, and attention. And it starts inside of us. And then we transform our outer worlds. So here's 3 ways that I did that when I was in a really tough season. I wrote down the new beliefs. I, well, I'm going to share a second one here that's not on there. I purposefully felt the feelings before I saw the result. Again, inside out creation. Um, I spoke the new truth over myself. I even have audios in my phone. I would put the new beliefs in my phone as reminders so that with friends, it was in my face. My new me, my identity, and my reality that I was choosing to believe, instead of reacting to what I could see, what looked like my reality. Changed my entire reality since then. So in about 2022, I'm going to stop the screen share for a minute. In about 2022, I felt really stuck, and I was floundering in my business, but no one knew about it. And maybe some of you have heard this story. Um, I felt really ashamed and insecure. And it was really surprising to me because I'd been running my business for over a decade, and I had been super successful and impactful and loved my work. And then it felt like somebody was saying yesterday, like a curveball flew at me and hit me out of the blue. And I was in total reactionary mode, very blind to my own feelings and what my response was. So, my response at the time was, I can't tell anyone about this because my income pretty much slowed down to nothing for about 6 months. It was really scary for me. Um, and I didn't really realize at the time what was going on. But my reaction was, I can't tell anyone about this. Try and figure it out on my own. Just stay busy having fun in the other areas of your life that you can appreciate right now, because you have so much to be thankful for, Amy, which is an old ingrained habit that I have sloughed off. And there's still a tiny bit to slough off, but it's that habit, that habitual thinking that kept me stuck in the past was, just be happy with what you have. It's really good already. Don't want more. It's not good to want more. So, anyways, I didn't know that I was stuck in that mindset, create replaying that tape. And so I just tried to buckle down and push through and be strong, and it didn't work. So the reason that I share this with you is because it took me a lot of going to the spiritual gym and the mental gym to turn the situation around. And I'm going to be sharing more strategies today through this story, as well as tomorrow, about how I did that. Um, for now, I think what's most important is that you see that your perspective is everything when you get hit with a curveball, or when you're waiting for what feels like a long time. I asked myself a long time for the result, your situation to improve. I asked myself a question at that time because I really felt hit in my heart with the truth that, okay, Amy, you're in this hard place. Are you going to just stop being joyful? Are you going to allow it to strip you of peace? Or what's your perspective going to be? And so I asked God at that moment, um, how do you want to use this season of my life? What's your plan? Because your plan for me has always been good and powerful and better than I can imagine. And I had a sense that I was supposed to document the steps that I took and the insights that I was given during that time, which eventually turned into the book. So I realized through that process that It's okay. My goal shouldn't be to be comfortable all the time. My goal should be to allow to look for my opportunity for growth in the desert, growth in the dry seasons. Doesn't mean it has to be, your story might be totally different from mine. Maybe it's not lack of finances that seems to be your problem. Maybe it's lack of love or lack of confidence or up like tumultuous communication with your spouse. It could be anything, or maybe a prolonged health challenge, right? Those things that scare us or make us feel like we're insecure and it's hard to stay peaceful. It's hard to trust. It's hard to maintain joy when those things are happening, but it is possible. I promise you, it is possible. So I started digging myself out of that hole, and I'll share with you the specific strategies that I use tomorrow, but choose to believe that there is purpose right now in your life, in the situation, in the challenge that you face, no matter how stuck you find yourself. And then your eyes will refocus on the true solution instead of, like I was saying at the beginning of this call, on your perceived problem, because your perceived problem is not the real problem. Let me tell you what I thought my problem was. I thought my problem was, nobody's interested in working with me right now. They're busy playing with their families. They're busy with their own businesses. They don't need what I have to share that's so transformative. And I have proof from so many clients' lives. But that was the thought that was keeping me stuck. It's not the right time or the right season to market, Amy. So what resulted from that thought cycle was I felt low, I felt sad, I felt hopeless, stuck, stuck, stuck. You get it, right? And then because I felt that way, what happened with my actions? Not much. I didn't focus on serving. I didn't focus on adding value. I didn't ask myself, how can I deepen the value that I'm already providing? I just focused all on me and what I thought my problem was. So it's actually a form of self centeredness. Interesting thought. We need to get our eyes off of ourselves so that we can get our eyes back on God if you have a relationship with God, and back on helping others. Such a key to happiness. So as I did that, I was able to create opportunities to serve and love and help and equip others with tangible tools to make the untangible actionable. So the big vision and actionable strategy. And then I was able to, have way more fun, make progress much more quickly than I thought I could, and also make way more money than I had ever made, which was really fun as well. And we know that when women make more money, we're able to accomplish and give back so much more. And it's not just about us, and it is definitely not about the money. The money is great, we're meant to enjoy our lives, but the money shouldn't be our goal. It's this beautiful fruit and reward for where our heart is centered first and foremost. So let's get back to the slideshow that I really want to show you. So this is what it looked like, you guys. In my living room here, I would get up nearly every morning during that season, and I would have papers on the floor with all of my new beliefs, and I would be reading them. And at night, when it wasn't cheery and bright like this morning when I took this picture, in the dark, I would, not in the middle of the night, but like before everyone else in my house was up, I would be dancing, because that is another great way to rewire your nervous system and let go of old things that are not serving you anymore. Move your body. Move your body, listen to music, sing. It helps you release, and it helps you relax, and it helps you rewire. Release, relax, rewire. I love it. I'm writing it down. Okay, release, relax, rewire. Love it. So, Yeah, that happened all in my living room many, many times over those 6 months. I did the work. We need to do the work to see change. It is worth it. Otherwise, basically, you're saying, remember, I choose to stay stuck. I choose to stay sad. I choose to stay unfulfilled. The picture on the right is in my office, right behind me. On the right there is my whiteboard. So that's also what I brought into the living room sometimes, or, um, sometimes my affirmations or pep talk for myself, my self encouragement was on that in my phone if I was traveling around. And I could erase ones that I had programmed into myself to change who I am, my identity, my beliefs, and my outcomes. So it does take work, and the work is totally worth it. Pays off. I wanted to share this with you because as I was on a walk this morning, preparing for all of you, I was thinking about bread and wine. And I was also thinking about diamonds. So, three great analogies to demonstrate the same point. When we talked about filling ourselves with certain emotions. Um, it's a choice. And you think about the process of making wine and making bread. So when we're making wine, there's a pressing that takes place to release the juices, right? When bread is made, especially sourdough bread, it's folded, it's punched, um, and then it has to go in a really hot oven in order for us to enjoy the fruit of our labor. So we get to enjoy this lovely wine. For those of you who don't like wine, maybe it's something else, kombucha. We get to enjoy this lovely bread. It's delicious, it's mouth-watering, warm with butter on it. We can't experience that beautiful outcome unless we surrender in the challenging, in the middle of the challenge to what it is right now. And sometimes surrendering is just surrendering to our emotions and being honest with ourselves, like we were talking about yesterday. But if we want to experience the sweetness of that wine and the delightfulness of that warm bread, we need to be willing to surrender, and we need to be willing to be used for something greater instead of life being all about us. And for me, that involved letting go of control and trusting a whole lot more when I felt out of control. And we're going to be looking at that as one of the keys to breakthrough tomorrow. So before we close today, I want to share with you Sam's story. So this isn't her real name, but she was a woman that I worked with. So you can read along with me if you want. She said, as a physician, I was overwhelmed with the pressures of work and family life, and I'd lost touch with what I wanted and who I was. I was tolerating a lack of fulfillment. I worried I wasn't the mom or the doctor I wanted to be, and I didn't realize I was floundering because of my old patterns. I felt desperate for something to change, so I reached out for help. I started giving myself permission to consider my own needs, what mattered to me, started focusing my attention and time on my values instead of everyone else's priorities. What a shift took place from overwhelmed to centered. Powerful. I applied Amy's suggestions, and my thought patterns and actions began to shift. Sometimes the work felt like mental gymnastics, that was her words. But then one day the habits felt natural. I worry less now, I enjoy life more, and feel more present and at peace. Now I believe that looking after myself is not only okay, but necessary as I care for others. With Amy's gentle guidance, I was supported to move to a place that felt more calm and value centered. So, one thing that she didn't mention here in her story was her spiritual relationship deepened and improved. She had more fun with her husband, and she felt more in control of her work schedule. And that's all possible for all of us. In closing, I want you to remember that uh, someday never comes, guys. We can't wait for someday. So, an encouragement for you to create a new future starting today. There's a quote that I really love about, I think it's out of the mud, the lovely lotus blossoms. Out of trials, something higher rises. I love it. Out of the mud, the lovely lotus blossoms, something like that. Out of trials, something higher rises. So remember, there's a purpose in every season, and you have way more power than you may have been remembering. So feel free to unmute. Let's have some discussion time. And if you have questions, now is the great time to ask them. If you want to share with me a top insight, I absolutely love hearing them. Feedback means everything to me. What are you starting to feel? And then I'll share with you what to expect for tomorrow and your homework for today. And hi, Daria. Nice to see you.
Hi, sorry, I was a bit late and sorry I wasn't there yesterday. I had my husband's birthday,
Oh,
so
great.
join. But thank you for that, like short for me, but really insightful yeah, meeting. And yeah, thank you everyone.
Great to see you. And no worries if you can join any of the calls, even if it's late because your family needed you, or if you only join one call, it's better than nothing. So happy to see you. Anyone else have something to share or a question?
Um, I have a question and something to share. I loved today's session. I think I used to have this process of same sort of thing where I had my whiteboard and I had my affirmations on the whiteboard that I had created based on um, the inner beliefs that I wanted to change, the new beliefs I wanted to have, and then I built the affirmations kind of on that, the new beliefs in the form of affirmations. Um, and when I moved out of my office space, we're in the middle of a remodel, so I'm in kind of a different office space that is not mine. And I don't have a whiteboard. And while I do have an absorbent amount of post-it notes, they're not the same. My eyes don't go to them. There's too many of them now. And it's just, I don't have the same process. And so one of the epiphanies I had today was just how much better I felt and how those beliefs started to shift when I had that practice, and how I've fallen out of that practice. And it almost feels like midway through this presentation, I was like, well, shit, I need to I fell back on those practices and I need to reincorporate that.
Mhm.
But I also felt empowered throughout the session as well of like, okay, wait, as I was taking notes, I kind of rewrote a bunch of affirmations. So I plan after this to make them pretty on Canva at some point this week and print them out and put them on my wall in lieu of not having a whiteboard right now. Um, so I felt really empowered. I went from feeling like, well, I used to do this and it worked, and dang it, I'm not doing it anymore, to like, wait a minute, but I did it before, I can do it again. And then I also had this epiphany that I was thinking about some of those affirmations that I was stating. I mean, this was like a year ago when I was in this practice. And what's interesting about it is many of those affirmations have come true, have manifested. So I'm looking at where I am now and I'm like, oh my gosh, it happened. And so I guess that's where my question is. It feels like this is very similar to manifestation, or what I would call manifestation. And I was just wondering how that differs or aligns with this concept of kind of rewriting your beliefs, your thoughts, and acting as if it's already present. Yeah.
Mhm. So you're asking me, is it the same as manifestation? Is that the question?
Yeah, or how it
How
differs or
it
how
differs.
it's similar.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't subscribe to the belief that everything, like when I was talking about the wine or the bread, the wine is pressed to create to get the juice out. The bread is heated really hot in the oven, right? I do not subscribe to the belief that God sends us hard things, or that we manifest bad things in our lives, or even that we manifest all the good things in our lives. What I do believe is that we co-create with God. So the way that I see my work as different from um, a lot of the manifestation practices that I see out there is I'm waiting on God in conversation for insights and strategies and solutions instead of just trying to create on my own with new mindset practices, new emotional states, all these practical strategies. And that really frees, like it lightens my load when I remember that I'm not ultimately in control. I don't have all the answers, and it's okay. I don't need to have all the answers because there's someone greater guiding. And that really relieves a lot of pressure. Mm-hmm. And then my part then is to get my thinking straight so that I'm aligned with the ultimate truth. And then I can get my actions and time use straight and set proper boundaries inside and outside in my life so that I'm partnering to co-create effectively, and I'm not trying to do God's job, but I'm doing my job.
Lots of intentionality in it, which I love. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for the question. Rana.
Hi. This is really wonderful, and I really regret not being there yesterday.
You'll see
And
the
it's
replay.
related to, yes, but it's not being there yesterday is related to my question because you mentioned you went through in 2022 a dark season. Is that how you called it?
Mm-hmm.
I'm in one now, and I find that everything you explained today, like there's this desire and urgency to do it, but it's met with this like I'm dragging my feet and it's not going to work, and um, creating new beliefs. Every time I would hear that, advice, I would be very strongly resistant to it. Like something in me is like, no, no, no. So like I loved how you wrote beliefs on the floor, and every evening you would look at them, and I'd like to do it. But yeah, like regarding everything, something in me comes up and is like, no,
Mm-hmm.
it's not going to work.
So resistance, we talked a little bit about this yesterday. Resistance is usually linked to fear, either fear of what the change will bring or fear of the work it will take, what you're believing it will take, or even
Yeah.
fear of success. And change, neurologically speaking, requires an actual energy output, whereas staying the same feels a whole lot safer and a lesser energy output. That's where conscious choice comes in. Do I want to stay in this situation? Or do I want to put in the work to get the result? It's like, I don't want to pick up the shovel and dig into the dirt because it's work, but I do want that new tree in my yard so I can eat the prune plums or whatever it is that you really love. Um, and we're going to be talking about what lightens the load tomorrow so that it doesn't feel like a heavy load to carry. And if you picture yourself, Rana, like in the dark season, I literally felt like I was on the valley floor. Yeah, great. There were mountaintops all around me with fabulous views, but I was in the dark in the valley and it was cold and I didn't like it and I didn't want to be there. Um, Keeping my perspective, like, what do you want me to keep? What do you want me to focus on? God in this time really helped me stay, um, help me do the work and stay in my lane. And also, if you can think about it this way, like, Rana, the sun is going to come up over that mountain and it's going to shine on your face again, right? So, or if you picture yourself walking through fog, it also felt like walking through fog, and it felt very lonely. And I couldn't see where I was going, which is why we so need to develop our trust muscle, our ability to trust when we don't know what's ahead of us, or we've never been here before, or maybe there's a woman that I was talking to up in Whitehorse. I was coaching her a couple weeks ago, and she said, like, my work makes me really happy, but I also feel like I'm scrambling and kind of out of control because I have big projects on the go and I want to make them like just an amazing outcome. So it's different people are in different situations, and whether they're in hard seasons like you're in right now, or a hard season because of things that they've chosen, whether we've chosen it or not chosen it, it can still be tough. And we need to make sure that the backpack we're wearing in the valley is as light and easy to carry as possible so that we can get through the valley. And one of the ways we can get through the valley with more ease is in community. And so if you find yourself isolated, that could be because of something you're thinking as well.
What do you mean?
Well, if you're not in community with people on a regular basis who are helping you see your blind spots and who are helping you keep your energy high and do the work that is necessary in the valley, then that's what I meant.
Mm. How do you find such a community?
Well, I'll be offering one. Uh, and also there's a number of different ways. There's paid communities, there's free communities, there's different types of communities that I have in my life. I've got a spiritual community. I've got a few close friends. They're part of my community. I have business communities that I'm a part of, all for different purposes, right?
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, Daria.
Hi, again. Sorry, I had a short question. Probably, I don't know if it's like related to the topic or not, but I feel like that's also a little bit about the community and like people around and some beliefs. Since we're social, like we surround ourselves with different people. So, for example, what to do if like one of the relatives, for example, is a little bit toxic, or probably not a little bit, and their beliefs have a huge influence just because you're like for some reason for some time staying under one roof, and you kind of change the situation for you know um for some time due to some reasons. What to do if those beliefs are destructive,
Mm-hmm.
and like you understand that they are destructive, but they still have the influence, because I feel like, I'm thinking about that, I'm catching those words or something what had been said either to me or just generally, but it influences me. um are there any tactics how
Yeah.
to refuse? Because it seems like if I just try to set my boundaries, it's hard, to do that in terms, not everyone understand how to
Respect.
make, yes, and how to respect, and also how to what boundaries are. So probably you can share some tactics about that. That'd be
Sure.
great.
Yeah. I think we have an unrealistic expectation that when we set a boundary with someone who may not be great at setting boundaries for themselves, that they're going to catch on quickly and that it'll only take once. So definitely try and be compassionate with other people and also patient in the process, because don't be too patient because that can cause problems and then you don't do anything about it. But be patient with um, their understanding and their change of your boundaries when you enforce a boundary, because they're used to living that way their whole lives. And if they don't have many people in their lives that actually have boundaries, they're not used to it. And yeah, it will usually take multiple times of you reinforcing your boundary, or maybe even increasing your boundary to very restrictive for a time. And how I like to coach clients around this is coming up with communication strategies for that between you and that person, so that you're saying, hey, this is what I need moving forward, or for this amount of time for myself because blank. And I believe for our relationship too, because this is what I want for you and I. And, you know, we could go into a deeper coaching conversation on this. I absolutely love boundaries. One of the other things that I would suggest is something that you can have in your home or wherever you see, maybe on your body, to remind you of your truth or your decision about that relationship. So one of my clients purchased a necklace, and it was tighter up around her neck. And with her mother-in-law, this necklace reminded her that her mother-in-law's words were only allowed to come down to here, and she wouldn't let them go into her heart. And that was a really good reminder for her. So those two things maybe give you some insight, hopefully.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So then it's like you're making an agreement or a decision before you ever face that obstacle again, of how you're going to respond instead of being in reactive mode. So knowing what your boundaries are before you get caught off guard is key. So I'm conscious of the time, and we're a few minutes over. So let me share with you what we're going to focus on tomorrow and your homework for today. So where is my, okay, so I'm going to share with you a number of secrets of the healthy, happy, and wealthiest people that I've had the pleasure of working with tomorrow that help them make progress and create breakthrough. I'm also going to share with you, where's my sheet? Right here. Keys to overcoming procrastination. One of them being proactive patience is one thing that I talk about in the book. Super powerful tool for overcoming hesitation and procrastination. And then some traps that I've seen high achievers fall into that keeps them stuck. So I'm really excited to share all of those things with you tomorrow, and more stories, and encourage you to make the changes necessary so you can feel how you want to feel for yourself, with the team that you work with, so that it can transform the culture at your workplace, so that it can impact how much money you make, so that it can increase your happiness. Like, all of these things are possible. And just remember to apply what you're learning, because if you have new insight and you don't change your behavior, nothing changes. And homework. Homework is for you to, I've written things in different places today. I would like to receive 3 different beliefs that you're choosing moving forward. So remember that slide about conscious choice? Moving forward, I choose to believe this is true. I want you to not wait to feel like you believe it's true. I don't want you to wait for proof in your external world that it's true. I want you to choose what you're believing moving forward. So 3 new beliefs that you're choosing. And then you email those to me at coacha@amyengelmark.com. Let me share with you my email here. Oh, that's cool. Got little things falling from my chat box, like little happy faces or something. That was interesting. coacha@amyengelmark.com. All right. And I will also, in the email that I send out tonight, and I'll make sure that your correct email or whatever's going on, Kylie, is she here? Yeah. Is adjusted, and that Rana, you get it too. And I will see you tomorrow, where we will focus in on purpose, proactive patience, and everything that I said we would already cover. So have a great day, and thanks for joining.
Thank you so much, Amy.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank
Nice to
you.
talk to you.
Thanks all. Have a great day.
You too, Sunshine.